All right, next up in the video is Madness. You'll also see something called Inner Demon. They're kind of both the same, and I want to go over this. There's a lot to talk about here. The Madness mechanic can be seen on your screen on the bottom left-hand corner. You're going to have a silhouette of your character, and when you see on this screen here, that silhouette happens to be glowing red. And if you look at our player character here, let me see if I can zoom in, her eyes are also turning red. Try to focus on her eyes. Now, let's go over to the character menu here, and you're going to see the Inner Demon, which is also your Madness meter. And you're going to see where I'm at in the game. I'm at level 47, and I have an Inner Demon cap or max amount of 132. As a beginner, you're probably going to have a max of 100. From what I've noticed, the higher your level, the maximum amount grows as well as you level, in case you're wondering how you get more. Now, the Madness mechanic goes as following. If you tab over to the help menu and you look at Inner Demon, open this up, and it's going to basically go over everything about Madness, but I have some extra tips for you as well that this doesn't tell you about, okay? But the first thing is the Maddening Incense. It's an item in the game that you can use. And basically, if you played Sekiro, you know how there's like the demon bell that you can hit and it makes the game a little bit more difficult? This is sort of like that, but it's an item that you use and it's timed. It does go away after a certain amount of time. But the Maddening Incense is it increases the madness when used and also prevents the loss of madness for a time. The shrines are able to ensure the powers of madness remain abundant. So let me tab over to my inventory and show you what that looks like. This is the Maddening Incense. And when you start the game as a beginner, you may have 0 or 1 of these in your inventory. Now, there is a way to get more of these. Let me show you. Go to the shrine and go over to your impetus repository or your skill tree. You're going to go off to the left and you're going to tab over to the section right here where it says Rising Madness. The emblem looks just like that right there. There's another one like this right here that's called Prolonged Madness. Now, in order to grab these on the tree, there's certain things that you need. You're going to need something called Bow Blood. And you're also going to need your red mercury essence, which we haven't gone over in this video. I'll go over that later. But the bow blood is going to be dropping from a certain enemy that you have to defeat, okay? So once you have that and coupled with the red mercury essence, you can then grab either this one or this one here. The Prolonged Madness says off to the side, it increases the Maddening Incense duration, okay? And this one here, it says the Maddening Incense charges goes up +1. So that means that the more of these you have, means that if you back out of the menu here, the more of these items you have in your inventory, like this right here, the Maddening Incense. And to use it, you can simply just select the item and hit use. And once you use it, it looks just like this right here. There's a timer on the bottom left corner of your screen. It's right beneath your stamina bar. And that right there will show you how much time is left for the duration of that Maddening Incense. Coming back over to the help menu under Inner Demon, let's go down to gaining and losing madness. This is very important. So when you're killing non-feathered humanoids or dying in combat, yes, I'm reading this word for word because this is what it is. This will increase your madness meter. There's another way to increase your madness meter that I'm going to go over in just a little bit. But it also says defeating most feathered enemies, and you'll know when they're feathered because they'll have literally the feathered graphic or something on their arm. That's a feathered enemy, okay? And this, when you kill them, they're going to die. When they die, they have feathers that get left behind, and that's going to reduce your madness meter. You will only lose some red mercury if you perish while at less than 50% madness. Red mercury is think of it as your runes or your souls, like, from other games. Okay, that's your red mercury. If you lose plenty of red mercury, right, your currency, if you perish while at above 50%, but below 90%, okay? However, you will lose all of your red mercury should you perish while at above 90%. So what does this all mean? The madness system is a risk-reward system. The effect of madness, her eyes turn red, which I just showed you, when your madness is above 50%. Activating related nodes in the skill tree grants enhanced effects, and I'll go over the skill tree in just a second to show you exactly what they're talking about. Now, demonic marks begin appearing while at above 90% madness. This makes you deal and take in increased damage. This is huge. This is why I wanted to stop and talk about this. So when you have 90% or more madness, you do deal damage. but be aware, especially when you're fighting bosses, that you're going to get 2 and 3 shot. So it's a risk reward system. And it also increases the red mercury gain from defeating enemies. So what does this all mean? The more madness, the harder you're hitting, the more rewards you get, but you'll take in more damage. Now it says if you unlock the conversion mode, right, or node in the impetus repository, your swift draws, which is going to be linked to your L3 button. Swift draws, if you don't know yet, will basically switch over to another weapon automatically for you and deal more damage. And it'll become more potent, and it'll also restore health on hit. Now, this is if you have 90% madness. Now, cleansing your madness is if you wish to cleanse it, if you don't want any madness at all, apart from being defeated by your inner demon, you can also pray to the god of Shu, which is like a statue. You'll see golden statues in the game, and you can do a gesture to them, and you can also give them an item in return, like this right here. It says offering divine gifts or divine gift shards. These are items you get in the game, and when you do that, it's going to reduce your madness. That's if you want to basically make the game a little easier. Now, manifesting demon right here is surpassing a certain madness threshold causes a demonic mark to appear on basically on your neckline. Should you perish while at full madness, a powerful demon will chase you. Your inner demon basically will chase you and try to kill you. This is when you're trying to go back and get your red mercury, your drop red mercury. This inner demon will spawn in its spot, and she is very, very difficult. Think of it as a mini boss fight. Your inner demon may enter your realm of its own volition in certain areas, and killing her in certain areas will also drop the bow blood, which I've already talked about. Let's say you have no inner demon. If you look on the left side of your screen, actually I'll do one better for you. What if you have 0 of 132 or 0 of 100 inner demon? How do you get more fast? I'll show you. Come to the shrine, open up this menu. You see where it says invoke on the bottom right hand corner? Open this up right here. You see that red icon? That currency is actually a different type of currency. This is your madness or inner demon currency. That icon, well, it looks like a little red leaf. This right here, you can purchase these consumables through madness. So let's say I have 100 or I have 0. I can purchase these raven pills. You purchase 5 of them and immediately you get 100 madness right out of the gate by simply invoking this menu here with that item. So you can go from 0 to 100 just by purchasing 5 raven pills. You'll have your madness almost capped out. Right now, I can't purchase any. Why? Because it says too high madness to invoke this item. My madness is way too high. Another thing that I want to show you real quick is the benefits of madness. If you go to the impetus repository, there are certain nodes that will talk about thresholds of madness. So if we come over here, this is just one example, by the way, okay? There's tons and tons of examples, but let me show you a couple. This one here is called Fury of the Skyborn. Look at the bottom of your screen. It says impetus repository description. While at above 50% madness, the Skyborn Might cost of casting Echo type spells is reduced by 1 stack. Here's another one. While at above 50% madness, your temperance accelerates its effect on your weapon, enhancing them faster than usual. So your cast time speed of applying that on your weapon is sped up because of your madness meter. Remember that example earlier that it talked about conversion? This is it right here. So conversion says swift draws are more potent while at above 50% madness, while at above 90%, it becomes even more potent. And so swift draw is basically when you have 2 weapons and you hit L3, you can swiftly go to your other weapon and use its ability on the fly, so long as you have Skyborn Might, by the way. Here's another example with the spears. It's called Swift Lunge, but it's the variant 1 of the normal Swift Lunge. Okay, so if you tab over here, you get a variant of that. And it says while at above 90% madness, Swift Lunge will now inflict frostbite buildup when used with Skyborn Might. So the more madness you have, the more benefits you get out of it, albeit at a cost of damage. Okay, it's a risk reward system. So here's an example of what your character looks like when she has a lot of madness applied to her. You can see it in her eyes and then on her shoulder and her body area. She's got all this madness everywhere. That's how you know.